I'm going to be explaining G.2.a, analyze conditional statements. There's basically three parts to this standard: writing an if-then form, writing the converse, and then finding a counterexample. So first, we're going to write an if-then form and then write the converse. So the first one is acute angles measure between 0 and 90 degrees. So your if-then form, if there is no if in the sentence, which there is not, this is my if part, the first part of the sentence. This is my then part. So if there is no if, the first part is your if, the second part is your then. If there is an if in the sentence, then that part is your if part. So now we got to make it make sense. So not just if acute angles, but let's say if an angle is acute, then it measures between 0 and 90 degrees. The converse means switch. You switch your if and then your then. So now instead of if an angle is acute, if an angle measures between 0 and 90 degrees, then it is acute. So that's the if and the then, and that's the converse. Now, I have an if-then statement. I'm going to write the converse, and then we're going to talk about counterexample. So if two angles are adjacent, then they are supplementary. The converse is if, instead of two angles are adjacent, if two angles are supplementary, then they are adjacent. Now the counterexample, supplementary angles means that they add up to 180. They don't have to be adjacent. Adjacent means that they're right next to, they share a side and a vertex. So my counterexample could be a picture. It could just be an angle maybe 40 degrees. And another one, 140 and 40 add up to 180, so they are supplementary, but they are not adjacent. So it makes the if part true. If two angles are supplementary, we have to start there. You have to start with supplementary angles, but make them not adjacent. Make the then part false. So let's do a couple more counterexamples. If it is Tuesday, then you have 0 hour. So we have to start with a Tuesday. So it could be maybe Christmas break. It could be last year. It could be in June. So it doesn't matter what it is. It could be over spring break. A couple Tuesdays ago, we didn't have 0 hours, so that would be another one. There's many different counterexamples, but you have to start with Tuesdays. Okay? So now I have to start with a supplementary angle and make it not a linear pair. So let's just do a little review. Linear pair looks like that. A linear pair, the definition is an adjacent supplementary angle. So how do I make it just supplementary? Well, I get rid of the adjacent part. Okay? So my supplementary angles is actually going to be just like my last counterexample. Didn't plan that, but that's okay. So I make 150 and 30. So they are supplementary, but it is not a linear pair, because we want to make the then part, this whole thing, false. That's what a counterexample does. All right, so good luck on your test.